Hello, my horror-loving dudes. I'm Killjoy Jake, and today we're going to talk about a bear that did cocaine. It's a bear, and it did cocaine. That's it. That's the whole gist of the movie. Are you expecting something else from it? Are you expecting something else from Cocaine Bear? Are you expecting Jordan Peele to march on out here and be like, this is my fourth film. Here we go, baby. No, this is Cocaine Bear. This is a review of a very dumb, fun movie, so let's get into it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Not that there's really much to spoil about this movie, but doing a little quick non-spoiler review. I enjoyed Cocaine Bear. This is a very dumb, fun movie, like I said in that little intro. As Scott C. said in his hilarious little video talking about the film, which he is also in, I mean, basically, yeah, all you need to know is that cocaine exists in this universe, and that a fucking bear does it. She starts ripping people apart. It's great. It's hilarious. I had a good time with it. Unlike Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, though, I feel like this one goes a little bit more above my expectations. I liked that movie. It was a lot of fun. It was just Winnie the Pooh killing people. It was exactly what I was expecting. But this movie goes a little above and beyond, especially with its characters. While yes, the setups are a little messy, the characters themselves are very fun to watch throughout this film. I think they're all very well written and perfectly placed in this ridiculous movie. I also like that they gave the Cocaine Bear herself a little bit more character, which was nice. Like, she's more than just a bear that does cocaine, okay? She has some other stuff going on. I can't really talk too much about that without spoiling it, but there's more to this bear. She's more complex than you think. I really only have two big issues with this movie. I think the first act is real rough. Like, man, they needed to sand that puppy down a little bit. You know how sometimes when you're watching a movie, you can tell that this scene was only written into this movie to set up something for later? There's a lot of that in the first act, and it's pretty rough. You gotta be really sneaky with how you set up things in movies. You don't wanna just throw it all out in the open like, this is gonna come back. You gotta assume that people watching your movie have seen other movies that do that exact same thing. Another little tiny issue is that spatial logic is just completely out the window in this movie too. I counted 4 different instances where something just simply didn't make sense based off of the space and how things would actually go down. But here's the thing about both of those last 2 points. Who the fuck cares? It's Cocaine Bear. I'm not expecting perfect from this movie. All right, but let's dive ourselves into some spoilers here because I just want to talk about this movie already. Unlike Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which was exactly what I expected it to be and literally no more than that, Cocaine Bear was a little more than what I expected it to be. Just a smidge more. Obviously, the bear and her kills are great, which is fantastic. Loved that. A lot of really good stuff going on here. But the characters themselves were also very fun to watch. Not too surprising considering this film had an incredible cast, but you also had Ice Cube Jr. and not Han Solo doing a little buddy comedy thing. They were a really good duo. I also really enjoyed Carrie Russell as like this mom Winona Ryder type character. The kids doing cocaine was hilarious. I can't believe you're even allowed to show that in a movie. I'm gonna be honest, that was pretty shocking. And the unsung hero of this movie, hot take, is Isaiah Whitlock's detective character, who is surprisingly so good in this movie. Went all out on his performance here. When the detective character died, I was actually pretty sad. I was like, wow, this was a really good character. And his last words are helping out these people who have betrayed him, you know, his cop that was supposed to watch the dog for him. He's like, I can trust you. I know I can trust you. He's like, well, nothing else I can do. I'm just gonna lay here and die. He's like, dead north, man, dead north. And that's like his dying words. And he just dies. I don't know how he got up on that gazebo. He said he climbed the tree and jumped over. Why he wouldn't just go get a ladder? You know, I don't know. But once again, I'm not gonna judge Cocaine Bear all that harshly. I'm a little more forgiving when it comes to these goofy B movies because like they're not trying to make this perfectly crafted movie. That was never the goal behind a movie like Cocaine Bear. I just don't think it's fair to judge The Shining and Cocaine Bear at the same level of filmmaking. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make any sense to me. With all that being said though, I do have to address some of the issues with this movie. I can at least address them, but once again, I don't really give a fuck about any of them. The opening scene and just the whole first act in general is a pretty messy setup. I was talking about this in the spoiler-free review, but basically, there's entire scenes that exist just to set up something for later on. And like when you're writing a movie where you're like setting up stuff for later on in the film to come back or whatever, you kind of want to be a little sneakier about it. You want to be all sneaky. You want to be like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 1. It's just a little too obvious that they're clearly setting up stuff stuff to come back for later on in the film. Like, the biggest example of this is all the stuff we get with the detective character. There's like 2 entire scenes that could have just been smushed all into one, I think. And because your exposition goes on for a little too long, it starts to drag just like a tiny bit. But once you get to the ambulance scene, it's just like a rocket shooting off into space for the rest of the movie. Almost like you're doing a line of, I can't say that. You know, I've already said it so many times. It's almost like you're doing a line of coke. Come at me, YouTube. This is a good time to mention that this video is likely getting demonetized. I've seen a lot of creators do videos on cocaine bears specifically, and they get their videos demonetized for no reason, so I'm just leaning into it with this review. I won't be making anything off of this review though, so if you want to support this page further, you can support me on Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. Shameless plug over, let's get back to the review. That's really the only big issue I have with the movie. This other thing that I'm about to talk about, I don't really care about, but I should point it out. Spatial logic is just totally thrown out the window with this movie, big time. I counted like 4 different instances where something just spatially does not make sense based off of how it was filmed or like how it looked or whatever, but the biggest example of this, I think, is when the park ranger and the animal inspector go out into the woods. They get attacked by the cocaine bear, but one of them gets shot left. You don't see the bear grab them or anything, and then the other one gets shot right. And once again, you never see the bear. But like I was saying earlier, who gives a fuck? Did I just point that out for brownie points? Pretty much. I don't really care. I do want to talk about the climax for a second, which was really well done, but unfortunately aged like milk. Ray Liotta unfortunately passed away last year, and this will be one of his last movies, and actually the first one released posthumously. In the film, he is the bad guy, and it makes sense for him to die, but it's like, man, it feels weird. It feels like I'm watching like Carrie Fisher in Star Wars 9 again. You know what I mean? It just I feel rubbed the wrong way a little bit with that scene. And that is in no way the filmmaker's fault. Like, nobody could have seen that coming. Like, that was a shock. That was truly something upsetting that happened. Rest in peace to Ray Liotta. Like, nothing but respect for that guy. Goodfellas is a banger. But watching this scene with having that so fresh on the brain, it was a little weird. Obviously, that's nobody's fault or anything like that, but it's just a little strange watching that. At least the guy went out on a high note though. I mean, this is a really fun movie. I had a blast with this one. A bear and her cub going after cocaine. I mean, it's truly a beautiful thing. As the old saying goes, a family of bears that snort cocaine together stay together. I actually want to retract that statement. None of that is true. Kind of like how this movie is based on true events, but really it was just about a bear that ate a bunch of cocaine in the woods and then its heart exploded. That's the true part about this story. Isn't that strange? But anyways, I really enjoyed Cocaine Bear. It's fun. It's dumb. If you're expecting a masterpiece from this movie and you hate it because of its flaws, I don't know what to tell you, man. You just went into this movie with too high of expectations. But if you're somebody who can enjoy dumb, funny B movies for what they are, you'll have a good time with this one. Now, we just got ourselves 2 bear-themed horror movies, and I gotta be honest, between Winnie the Pooh and Cocaine Bear, I'm definitely leaning a little more towards the old cocaine side of things. In the land of coke and honey, I guess I'm just a little more interested in the coke. Also, here's my top 10 list of horror movies from the entire year. I think that this is gonna be a fun thing to do at the end of every review throughout a year, to kind of show you where I rank literally every horror movie I see throughout the whole year. And then at the end of the year, we're gonna do like a top 10 list, just talking about the 10 best ones that I personally liked. But this is how I rank them. If you disagree with that, yeah, probably. Like, most people probably disagree with each other's lists. Infinity Pool was a banger, fight me. But what did you think about Cocaine Bear? Did you have a fun time with it, or did you think it was stupid? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this review of Cocaine Bear. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. Please consider supporting me on Patreon by clicking that link in the description below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.